Hello my crafty friends out there, welcome to a new video. I recently finished this little book. It's a kind of a junk journal. It's made out of, who could imagine, a chocolate box I received as a gift from a friend. And I found the cover and the design so cute that it screamed to me to make a book out of it. So I will show you a little flip through of what I made out of it. I have a magazine that is called Flow. It is available in different languages. I think originally it's a Dutch magazine, but there's also a German version and an English version, and it's a very cute magazine, and it also has very wise and deep articles. So it's really a pleasure and a little time out to read it. And to me, when I receive a new magazine each month, the first thing I flip through and I see what I might cut out. It sounds terrible, but I'm a very visible person, so if a design speaks to me, I already get inspiration and kind of plans what I would be able to make out of it for junk journals or art journaling or such. So the first thing I look in the magazine is what can I tear apart and cut out to make something new out of it. So this first page is out of this magazine, and you will see a lot of cutouts. As you can see here, even though it's a kind of a junk journal, and sometimes I really put pieces together without thinking too deep, I can see now that I always have some meanings or some symbolics inside of my page. And so I quite started this journal when I was diagnosed earlier this year with ADHD. I know it's very late because I'm 41, but to be diagnosed made so much more things clear that happened to my life and how I dealt with it. This page represents when I received the diagnosis, and the problem with ADHD people are to focus on a thing. So I often put down subjects that kind of worries me or occupying my thoughts, and make a little layout out of it. Here is a heart that my youngest, soon to be 5-year-old, made me out of nothing. He was just crafting and brought me this heart that was very cute. And throughout the book I also have quotes that speaks to me or represent something of that very moment. Here's a little funny story. My youngest brought me this sticker. He was crafting at the time, and they said, "You know what? You can have this sticker because you are a sweet dinosaur." He knows how to make compliments. This is also kind of when I'm thinking about my life purpose. I'm a single mom to 3 boys, age 16, 13 and soon 5-year-old, which is very struggling. The young one is a special need with Asperger syndrome, so my everyday life is very challenging, and with my own ADHD and lack of structure and keep things together perfectly. I often make myself a lot of thoughts how I can deal with it and make it better and make it easier for myself. So again, from this magazine, bits and pieces I put together. Also, this seems to be very simple, but it actually has the meaning that I hope to find someday, like the treasure, to find love, to find answers, to find maybe meaning of life, things like that. And also this picture is out of a children's book illustration, and I have really hard times with my youngest, and to feel connected, to remind me, even though things get hard, is kind of a reminder that I'm still very much connected to him, very much loved by him, even though he provokes me to my very end sometimes. Here is a little poem I wrote to someone I met, who became a special friend of mine, and he made me realize how friends are important. I don't have a big social network. I'm very much on my own, so yeah, that was very special to meet someone who really cares about friendship. This is package material made out of tissue paper. I mean, there were tissues inside, but it's of course Hello Kitty design. I also like to have some interactive elements sometimes. I like it three-dimensional and to touch, and that books like this are kind of a sensual experience as well. Here is a little picture of my little one. He used to pick up flowers from me. I don't know why, I didn't teach him. He made that out of his own. So he's really gentleman, and also as I said earlier, he knows how to make compliments. And here again, it looks very simple, but it's a reminder to me that family is everything, and I really try my best to make the best for this family. I made two signatures, as you can see, and sew it to the book. And so now we come to the second half. This was a funny little story when I was on the phone with this other friend, and I told him that my hot glue gun is a mess and I cannot make stencil because the flow of the liquid is not very good. He, on his side of the phone, scribbled down hot glue gun to make it as a present for me sometime, because he knew that I don't have the money to just go and buy a more professional hot glue gun. And later on, when he really went and bought this for me, he said, well, it's not very romantic. And I said, well, that's the most romantic thing. It's to me, in my position, it's more romantic than flowers or chocolates. Here is another page that is just thrown together, but still makes sense. At the end, in the back, you can see it's a tissue with Hello Kitty that I glued down with gel medium. This is more like an art journal layout, and I post some of the pages also on my Instagram account, so you can go and have a look if you like to. The address is below. Here I use Punch Out, and I have a very, very old edition of Winnetou of Karl May's book, and it even has the old German scripture in it. I can read it, but it immediately gives you a vintage flair if you use old book paper. This is a package from a candy store, and this is also a gift I received from a crafty friend nearby, and she made them herself. They are actually white. They are made from flour. I don't know how she made it, but she can kind of create like how do you call this? A mass, and you can fill it in forms like for Fimo and such. And it's made out of flour, and it looks very nice. I painted it with acrylics because it's kind of plastic, and so it has to be very it must dry good, so it stays on that material. That is from a washi package I received. I recently got some new washes. I bought washes much and a lot in the past, and I became more picky because I have so much and I have not the possibility to use them as often as I would like. So I'm more choosing now when I want to have a new washi, and those are some washi that I really like because they are very artsy and very special. Also this watercolor look, and so I made a quick page out of the package. This was a package just like that from an order I made, and I made this simple page again with pieces of the Flow magazine. This is a very personal page. It has to do with my diagnosis of ADHD, and that my mother in fact was a teacher and didn't realize that I had these problems, even though professional told her that she should have an eye on it. And it's actually the heart of my story is that I didn't know all the years, and I thought I am stupid, and that other people just have the easier life because they are more talented or more gifted and more able, and to realize that it's just my brain that functions in a different way, and I had no one to help me find other forms of learning or studying. That's really still hard to take. I mean, it's only a few months now, so I have the possibility to change a lot of things, but it takes a while. As you know, learning new things already takes a while, and learning new things with a certain age, after you have all the patterns already done and you have already lived your life so far, that's a very sad thing to realize, and this quote by Albert Einstein really represents it perfectly to point. This heart is actually made out of nail polish. I used nail polish and put it on water, and then put a paper on it and let it dry, and I took a toothpick or toothpick, I think, and made a little bit of marble pattern, and it looks very fun. And à deux c'est mieux, it's French and means it's better if you're two, and also expresses my search and, yeah, my wish for love. This is the back of a invoice I received of a Moleskine planner I ordered, and I found it so very funny. have this very boring invoice on the one side, and on the back there is this neon pattern. So I used it here also in combination with a little Hello Kitty. This is also one of the things I kind of discovered this year. So the quote means, don't expect anything today, because this is your life. So like, I should not plan or think about the future, and I should not hang on to the past too much, because only now is a moment that counts. Here I made a little flower stencil and colored it with ink. This is also a package paper, and is a little tiny homage to Alice in Wonderland. And that it sometimes needs time to find what makes you happy, and that you should take yourself that time. This also is a very personal page, even though it looks so simple. I had the pattern to invest a lot in other people instead of me, because I thought it would be nice of me and would me make a nicer person, especially with my thoughts about myself. But I realized that if it's real friendship or real love, then the energy flows on both sides, and I don't have to invest all of my personal energy and ideas to keep the relationship alive. So I need to take my power back. These are pages I had in my moleskin prepared, and I ordered the moleskin and found out that I ordered it too small, because I want to have the A5 size. I have a daily journal and I really like it and appreciate it to plan, because as a single mom of 3 boys, you really need to be aware of all the dates and appointments, and it's also a little journal on the same time. And I liked the color combo so much that I didn't want to throw it away, even though I couldn't use the planner. So I ripped it out and put it in here and made a little layout out of it. This quote is very funny. I was searching for something with the lemon quote, as all of you surely know, but I was quite angry because all the people that mean to be so wise and can tell you such a standard quote and think they can change something in your life or make your life better. It really made me angry, and I wanted to find something a bit ironic or sarcastic, and I really think that's a good quote, and even is not as sarcastic as possible. I know there is also one with a bomb or something, but I think this is quite peaceful in the ways like you handle yourself, what you do or what you don't do, what you accept or what you don't accept, what life is offering you. This is also a page I actually made with very dark thoughts, but I see it as a kind of an anchor. So where flowers bloom, there's hope, and I really hope to be able to rely on that when I'm feeling down. Here is really just putting together cutouts from a magazine, because I really liked the sparkle and the intensity of the flowers. This page I actually made out from skin tattoo, so these are actually temporarily tattoos, but I so love them on paper. I really do. So I really don't wear them, but put them in my junk journals. This was a page I made, I think 2 days ago. I like the quote very much. It's a quote by Friedrich Nietzsche. And I can very much relate to that too. And then another wise quote about life. And yes, it's all a process and I cannot always enjoy it. It sometimes really makes me nut in my head, but I am still here and I'm still fighting and still hoping for the best outcome possible. And as the same way as I started the book, as you remember this page, I also closed the book, and to me really the most important thing that counts for me is being mother to my 3 sons and being a good mother, and everything else I hope will develop itself and show up when time is ready. So that is the back of the book. You can see it's milk chocolate. I sew it with a 2 signature, and that's already it. I hope you enjoyed my little very personal flip through, and if you have questions or comments, you can leave it below. Thank you very much for watching, and have you all a wonderful day. Bye bye.